Hello there, and I'm really sorry you have to join me under such unfortunate circumstances with the Right Honourable Member for Stoke-on-Trent North grinning at you like that. And by the way, make no mistake, that is an evil grin. This man has evil intentions. Oh boy. Yes, Jonathan Gullis has come on to Patrick Christie's GB News show for a bit of self-promotion, of course, because he's going to table a couple of amendments to the illegal migration bill. Now, bearing in mind, by her own admission, the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has said it's more than 50% likely the illegal migration bill is a breach of human rights. Jonathan Gullis here wants to make it even worse. Let's have a look.
Jonathan, good stuff. How are you?
I'm good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. So, what are you actually tabling here, and will it get a good hearing, do you think?
Well, look, there's been a small group of us, I think it's quite obvious from the signatures on the amendments, that have been working together collectively to come up. And yes, I've got two specific ones as the lead member in my name. One is to actually make it illegal effectively to use hotels, to stop and end the use of hotels, enabling us to actually force the hand to find alternative accommodation in the short term, but ultimately making sure that we do carry on to deliver getting people removed from the UK to safe third countries.
Right. Make it illegal to use hotels. Are we, Jonathan? Are we really? You're a member of Parliament. You're meant to be a professional. Are you really going to table an amendment that makes it illegal to house migrants in hotels? Is that where we're at? And by the way, force the hand, he says. Force the hand of who? The Home Office? His own government? Who? And where? Where the hell? So let's say it's made illegal. Right, this is a fantasy world we're going to enter now, right? So let's say, right, we've entered this fantasy world, and in this fantasy world, migrants cannot be housed in hotels. It's illegal. What you got? What's your alternative, Jonathan? Jonathan? Can you... Jonathan! He has nothing. He has zero. This is just posturing. Self-promotion. Force the hand. Alternative accommodation in the short term. What, housing? Housing. We're going to put them in houses. We're going to put them in what? Social housing. Is that your plan? We don't have enough of it. If that's your plan, what is your plan? What is your alternative? You can't just table something to make it illegal and then just leave these tens of thousands of people with nowhere to go. Unless you've got something more sinister in mind. We're going to put them all in the one place, maybe. If you get my drift, Jonathan. Could easily be what he's getting at, folks. Yes, it could be that dark. The one place where we put all of the illegal migrants. Like a battery farm.
And another one that says that even if someone is removed and they try some sort of human rights claim that is, clearly just some sort of lefty lawyer's loving, that actually that won't be able to see that person returned back to the UK, and their case would have to be heard even if they're in a safe third country. Because the last thing that we need is to undermine the idea of removing someone who could then be brought back.
Right, so it is the case now that people cannot appeal their deportation unless there's some sort of asylum or human rights grounds. And that's what he's getting at here. I don't know who he thinks he is. What does he mean? That is clearly a lefty lawyer's loving. Who the fuck is this guy to decide what is, quote unquote, a lefty lawyer's loving? I mean, how damn disrespectful can you be? Some people, genuinely, whilst living here, have been outspoken opponents of the Taliban and are now facing deportation to Afghanistan. Does that sound like a lefty lawyer's loving? Is that the sort of thing that would be a lefty lawyer's loving to Jonathan Gullis? Forgive me if I'm wrong. He's saying that, let's say Let's say somebody wants to appeal on human rights grounds their deportation to Afghanistan because they've been outspoken opponents of the Taliban. Is he saying he'd send them back to Afghanistan first before their appeal can be heard? What a joke. What an embarrassment this guy is. He just doesn't believe human rights in a migrant is possible.
It will just be godsend for the smuggling gangs who want to bring people over.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, how do you think that the migrant hotel one's going to go down? You might have a tough job there because I suppose the government, I don't know, might not want to back you on it. They seem to love putting them in hotels.
Oh, thanks for giving him such a hard time, Patrick. Nobody loves putting migrants in hotels. It's a completely absurd temporary measure, but it's the only one we have. Because this political party, over 13 years, has failed to invest in this country. Therefore, the infrastructure is not there to deal with this many migrants. And it should be. The amount of time it takes to process claims is a joke. It's a disgrace. And your man on the right there, Patrick, the man you're talking to, is part of that shit show.
All I can say is that I've had actually very helpful conversations with both Number 10 and the Home Secretary. And look, I'm not looking to push this to a vote. What I'm looking to do is to help the government when it comes to maybe any blockages within the civil service to find alternative accommodation sites, but ultimately also to make it very clear that the hotels have to end. That £7 million a day needs to stop being spent, and that we need to carry on with actually getting on with what the Prime Minister wants to do, which is get people deported to a safe third country. If we do that, then there won't be a need for hotels or even a need to start looking for lots of other accommodation within our United Kingdom. I don't want to see housing use. We do have old MOD sites that for temporary use could be used. We do, I'm sure.
So not housing. We've ruled out housing, but we do have old MOD sites that could be used. I mean, that's a worry. That's a worry that he's coming out with stuff like that. MOD sites, like large areas where lots of people can be accommodated. He really is the stuff of nightmares. So there's no chance either of those amendments make it into this bill. There's just no way. His second amendment sounds like it's a breach of human rights law. The man's a joke. Removing people from hotels and putting them in large camps. It's exactly what he's suggesting. And what makes it more dangerous is he's always banging on about the cost of £7 million per day. So he's talking about moving these people into the one location or a couple of locations to get costs down. It's really not good, folks. It's really not good. I've already called on Wellingborough to kick out Peter Bone. So, come on, Wellingborough. And I've already called on Wokingham to kick out John Redwood. But for God's sake, this one's far more urgent. Stoke-on-Trent North, please. Oh my God. What worth does this guy have? Every word he utters screams fascist. And I'll tell you why. He has a hatred, and I mean a hatred, of people on the left. He has an extreme hatred of communists and Marxists. We know that. He's a dangerous man, folks. A dangerous man. Thankfully, he's of no significance, because his amendments won't make it. And I don't actually know the answer to this, so let's have a look at how he voted for the Stormont break the other day. We'll look at no first. Oh, there he is, of course. Oh, boy. What a list, eh? What a list. Ugh. So, of course he did. I didn't even need to look, really. I should have known. I should have known. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Cheers.